People who work in the porn industry, editors, cameramen, women, office assistants, etc. What everyday work challenges peculiar to your indursty do you face? Some time ago, while visiting American cousins, I was invited to their neighbor's birthday barbecue. The birthday boy had started out as a documentary filmmaker, but for the last few years he had made the vast majority of his considerable income directing, shooting high-production value porn. I work at the studio floor level in the feature film business, so we had lots to talk about when the backyard, over the top of Longneck's conversation, rolled around to his genre of filmmaking, as it inevitably had to. I asked him if watching porn still turned him on, considering his occupation. His answer was a definite, "Fuck no." Why not? He said it was because of the smell. Apparently, making porn in close quarters smells like, you guess, it might smell of sweat and spit and ass and piss and vaginal secretions, and God knows what else, all over a cloying background stink of fruit-flavored lube. He compared it to being locked inside a construction site's unserviced porta-potty alongside a big bowl of strawberry puree. He said he can't watch porn because it brings back the smell, which kills his passion. A friend of mine used to write adult films as his side hustle. Math was the hardest part. What would happen was that the studio would come up with a title. They'd have a number of sets available, a given number of male actors and a given number of female actors. The writer was given all this information and had to come up with a storyline that used all the sets and also included all the different combinations of men and women. Because you can't have the same two people get together twice in the same film. People tend to fast forward through a coupling that they've already watched. So it all came down to complicated combinatorics to get it all to work together. I do not currently work in the industry, nor can I say that I was actually involved in it to a strong degree, but I used to do audio work for someone who did. I frequently had to replace fire engine or police sirens or other extraneous sounds in the audio with appropriate-sounding moans or sex noises when the location recording picked up stuff from outside the building. You would be surprised at how many times a moan can be copy-pasted and sound legitimate. Used to work law enforcement. Quit the police force because I didn't like the way things were being handled at a higher level, and I now work as a contractor for porn sites. I filter through the uploaded videos to ensure there's no kids, hidden videos, pictures in videos, surprise gore, etc. Baby video gets forwarded to the proper authorities, alongside any info we have on the uploader's account. I hate it at times, but at least some good comes of it. Pays better and the job is safer. I'm hoping to make a career of it because, honestly, porn isn't going anywhere. Also, my predecessor, a person who had a monopoly on the filtering porn videos industry, amateur underage NWE, he was arrested and his team disbanded, which is why a law enforcement background was helpful in starting me on this path. It's just safer for everyone. I was invited to a fetish porn shoot at this bar in San Francisco a few years back, where this young woman was strapped naked to a wooden cross and waterboarded with beer and had her titties slapped around. After the shoot, I talked to her for a while and she said the toughest part of the job is getting people to realize she wants to be there and is not there against her own free will, even though the shoot portrays a completely different story. I have a cousin who used to work in post-production editing. She only quit because the hours were long and it was taking a toll on her health. She's still friends with a lot of them to this day. On some tidbits she told me. Most of them do it to fund college. The freakier the scene, the more they get paid. Girl-on-girl scenes pay the least. There's a ton of money in the cam industry. Used to edit and shoot adult. Actually, shooting porn as a crew member often isn't much fun. Cramming a bunch of lights and people doing vigorous activity in often small rooms with no ventilation makes the set quite hot. And then as a camera guy, you've got to hold the camera steady while you've got both arms over some guy's shoulders to do a pavage shot, and it's basically like endurance weight training in a stinky sauna sometimes. And then there's lube on fucking everything, which can be a real pain in the ass if you're on location and need to make the place clean as a whistle before you leave. I guess I had it easy. I did editing and visual effects. My main problems were people giving me a ton of footage, not using a slate, having the actors ad-lib so much I couldn't always figure out what went where, and missing clean plates, missing background shots and such. Basically, my issues were it was rapidly shot stuff by people who weren't professions and would forget steps that are important later. Not necessarily porn industry, but I worked for a publishing company that did adult books. We were working on a book of 101 sex positions. The publisher wanted 101, the salespeople said that worked best, and we booked the models for 101 photos. Dear God, we were reaching by the end. There are not that many ways to position the human body and have the genitals line up to anything worthwhile. Being a cameraman in the porn industry is insane, and it takes an insane person to do it. I'm from Miami and had a friend in college who did a few videos. I hung out with him and the camera guy one night. They did a shoot earlier that day. The people holding the camera usually have money in the production. Sometimes they even own the channel company. They're the director plus cinematographer. This guy who I met was the kind of guy who made you nervous to be around. I always felt like he was on the verge of committing a violent crime, but was also trying to have fun constantly. They talked about the shoot the whole time, and the camera guy was viciously insulting the girl they worked with. He even talked about other girls and was super mean. I sat back and watched and listened. My friend said the whole act of shooting porn is fine and he felt he was great at it, but the camera guy just gets too close. He has too, I know, but I think it's why my friend didn't continue doing videos. The dude just weirded him out. I worked for a small local prawn company for about 3 years. I handled a lot of the paperwork, writing paychecks, booking hotel rooms, etc. I would also hold a camera during the live shoot, help the models, go to the store if we forgot something, shit like that. There were only about 4 or 5 of us working at a time. 2 holding handheld cameras, one being the director, the others checking the lights, the static cameras and monitors. A couple of things. The smell. The set always smells like a weird blend of latex and lube, mixed with the food from the craft services table. The more people you're filming, the harder it is to keep to a timeline. It's oftentimes like trying to herd cats to get everyone on set at the same time. Of course, as soon as they eventually arrive, something will happen to the cameras or the lights. There is a lot of hurry up and wait. Filming prone is really quite remarkably unerotic. I actually almost fell asleep once while filming. Now, mind you, the models we were filming were extraordinarily boring for some reason, and I started nodding off. I found there are 2 types of models: women that are extremely smart, using the industry to further their career aspirations, even meeting women going for their doctoral degree. The others, let's just say I've handled rocks that had more brains. There doesn't seem to be a lot of in between. Also, very, very rarely does someone come on screen without help. I was a makeup artist for a while for porn sets. The hardest thing for me was getting fake eyelashes to stay on. Girls who have to film a scene while they're on their period will put one of those little triangular makeup sponges up their vagina. They absorb the blood while also being small enough that the girl can still have sex without the sponge getting in the way, and you can't see it once it's up there. Problem is, the girls don't always remember to take the sponge out. There's a series on YouTube called Ask a Porn Star, and in one of the videos, horror stories of weird, gross, awkward things that happened on set. They were saying that some girl kept showing up to set with a really foul-smelling crotch, and it turned out she'd stuck a sponge up herself like 2 months before and forgot about it. I work in the industry, photographer. I work with lots of newer models, and the one thing no one talks about is nervous farts. You can be shooting and all of a sudden your nose is assaulted by some ass gas. And the worst ones will need to go to the toilet and do a huge poop, which stinks out the studio hotel room. So yeah, there's that. Every sex position you see is designed to show off the penetration and not to actually feel good. You end up pulling muscles and the sex really sucks for everything except cowgirl. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Write in the comments below the video if you know of any other difficulties in the porn industry. Be sure to subscribe to our channel to not miss new super interesting videos, as well as I suggest you watch our other videos.